Listen, y'all, I'm trying not to come in hot on this review. However, I will say if I would have started at the beginning of this series, I think I would have enjoyed it a lot more. But as we get into the video, I explained to you a few of my gripes and a couple things that I wish I would have known getting into the series, which probably would have made it a good series. But welcome. This is Reviews from the Six. My name is Cedric, but you can call me Ceddy Said. And today we are reviewing Marvel's Murderworld Game Over. And it doesn't matter if you're a Marvel fan, DC fan, Boom comic fan, Image comic fan, Variant. It doesn't matter. Welcome. We're discussing our hobbies and our interests here, and that is comic books. So, of course, I want to start with the art because usually the cover art is what grabs you, right? Where you're like, all right, let me check this out. I might check it out. So you do see here on the cover, you know, Murderworld Game Over. You have the main character, Arcade. And then on the steps, you kind of have fallen or broken bodies, however you want to put it. On the back, there's really nothing. It's a Wakanda Forever ad. And then I'll flip through a couple of these pages for you so you can see what it looks like. Like, it's not great art. It's not bad art. It's meh. I mean, like, even the fight scenes, I was just kind of like, nah, not really. Like, the struggling. Like, just look at this here. Like, I just didn't like that. You know, I know it's sweat and I know she's bleeding too, but some of it you're just like, huh. And then there's some where you're like, okay, like a couple fight scenes. I think like there's a scene where she tries to defend herself and break the hold, and you're like, okay, cool, that's right. Now, of course, we got to get to the writer of this, right? And I believe this is Jim Zub and Ray Fox, who are the writers. And now that we got the art out the way, of course, you want to know about the characters, right? So in here, you have the main character, who is Arcade, in my opinion, who is the main character, right? So Arcade is throwing a game of non-powered superhumans or just humans in general, people who don't have powers, and they're fighting to the death. The survivor gets $1 million. It does have that Saw feel to it. You know, there's another TV series on Netflix I watch. It's in Korean. Or they're like doing a survival game and they win money. It's like they're playing games and stuff. The character itself, to me, he felt like a mixture of, he felt familiar. That's what I mean. I'm not going to say any way that it's a combination of these characters, but to me, he just felt familiar. And that was the Riddler, the Joker, and Jigsaw from the Saw movie. So what I mean by that is like his facial expressions, like they try to make him laugh and smile like the Joker, right? And then he had like the wit of the Joker, you know, like that dark humor. Then it was like he was the smartest man in the room, like the Riddler. And then when it comes to Jigsaw, it was like that. Like he has this superiority complex where, hey, this contest is for you and it's helping you turn your life around. I'm changing lives around here. Also, the winner, I'm changing their lives too. So, like I said, the character felt very, very familiar. There was nothing really for me to get invested in with him. But that's one of my gripes, right? Is right there. Murderworld Game Over. The title itself should have indicated, hey, this is the end of the line, right? But I didn't see that. I saw Marvel 1. So I'm thinking this is the beginning of the series. Even when I heard about the issue, I saw it online and it was the, well, it didn't say it was the beginning, but they were like a new series from Marvel, Murderworld. So I was like, all right, bet. So we'll get into that to the story once we get done with the characters here. I don't want to move too fast, right? So back to the characters. Now, besides him, I would say the other main character, in my opinion, or the co-main character, is Alex Benevidas. Now, once again, I really couldn't get invested. I mean, his story is similar. I can't say I relate, but I can understand the struggle, right? So Alex Benevidas is a paramedic. Now, keep that in mind till where you get to the end of the story, or the end of the comic. You're like a paramedic, right? So he's a paramedic. They give you a scene where he's crying to his wife on the steps, and he's like, baby, I lost everything in the stock market. Everything. I even lost our baby girl's tuition. I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to lose our home. I'm hopeless at this point, right? She's like, hey, I got you. Don't worry. You know, doing everything a strong woman should tell her man who's breaking down. However, not all things seem as he says, right? So even though he says that, you got to keep in mind that in the game, these people are dying, and you know, they're telling secrets and telling people what they wish they would have done if they stayed alive, and if they got a second chance on life, and you know, all that good stuff. So the truth is, I don't want to spoil it for you, but the truth is, he didn't lose it that way, right? He's a big gambler, right? He's a big gambler, and he has another life outside of his family. So there's a lot Alex is not telling us the truth about, but there's a lot of struggle that you can relate to. But I just couldn't get invested in him. Like, whether he lost or won, which you have to find out, I just couldn't really get invested in. It was just like, all right. And then, of course, you got Marina, right? Marina is a Hydra agent. Now, I don't know too much about Marina. Maybe she's in the other issues. I don't know too much about her. So off top, it wasn't like I could get invested. But at the end of the day, these are the two survivors of the game. So therefore, they had to be in the other issues. And that's what I mean, back to the gripe that I wish Marvel 1 in the corner actually meant this was the first issue. However, it wasn't that. So we're starting at the end, even though it says 1. So now Marina's there. She's a Hydra agent, you know. Other than that, you really don't have too many characters. You have the Murderettes, which are like these life decoy modules, LDMs, I believe they're called, right? So they're not even real people. They're kind of like the bots from Austin Powers, you know. I don't know what those bots were called. I kind of forgot. But anyways, I'm going on and on, but you're ready for the story, right? What actually happens here. So it's just that with the characters, right? It's simple. Arcade is throwing a tournament. The survivor gets $1 million, right? Now, the kicker part is that it begins where it leaves off at, and that's with Moon Knight being dead. And you're like, yo, Moon Knight's dead? Like, why is Moon Knight, huh? How? And they tell you that he's dead because he was shot by Black Widow. Now, that's where I messed up at, because I should have included her in the characters too, but there is Black Widow in here. But there's a reason why I didn't include Black Widow, and you're going to find out as the story goes on, or you're going to find out when you read the comic, right? So long story short, Black Widow was there. Now, they're kind of telling her, remember the murder bots now, what they are. So Marina's like, look, I'm an agent. There's something suspicious about this girl. I don't know if that is Black Widow or not. What you think, right? So she does what she has to do to determine if it's Black Widow. Alex gets mad, right? He throws a tantrum. He's telling her, now he's opening up, and he's saying, hey, my biggest regret here is that I'm a paramedic and I couldn't help or save anyone. So now you kind of feel for him, like, oh, okay, I get it now, man. Like, you've been playing the game where everybody's dying and you're just watching them die without no help. So you're upset what Marina did to find out what or who Black Widow is, right? So after they find out what Black Widow is, they kind of come to an agreement. They're like, look, only one of us can make it out this game, man. Only one of us can make it out this game. What you want to do? And then that's where Alex tells her, hey, look, I got a life insurance policy on me. If I go, it's good. My family's going to be taken care of. They running into some money, right? Marina's like, it doesn't matter to me either. I'm just glad I could sacrifice myself for the greater good and a great person, right? However, someone doesn't stick to their part of the bargain, and a fight breaks out, right? So boom, the fight breaks out, and you get a winner. And when you get the winner is told something that they weren't aware of, right? So keep in mind, all this is going on, right? All this fighting for days on, weeks on, all these combatants, everything, right? So he tells them, well, I may or may not have been broadcasting this live, and all the secrets you told and everything you said may or may not have been heard by your family, your coworkers. Oh yeah, by the way, you're definitely going to jail for murder. I was like, yo, okay. But that's what I mean. Like, it just felt so familiar when it came to Arcade, right? So you get to the end of the story, and there's a part where, to me, it just didn't make no sense. Like, it's supposed to climax at this moment, right? Either you're going to make me buy another issue, or at this point, I'm going to be waiting to see what happens to the character in another issue. And I just didn't get that. So Arcade comes out with a button that looks like a panic button. And he's like, hey, if you hit this, I'll get the medics for you. If you don't, you're going to die right here. right? And you're like, okay, whatever. So now that cuts to the very, very end. Now you remember our girl Black Widow, right? So there's a scene where one of the agents of Shield finds the headquarters of Arcade. So they enter the headquarters and they turn the chair around thinking it's him, but it's not him there. And they get a surprise, or should I say they get an invitation. So yeah, like I said, if I would have known that this started at 1, I could have been seriously invested and have like a better insight of this. But thinking this was 1, my insight is miscommunication. That's really what I'm griping about, really. I'm just upset about that part. But yeah, I couldn't get invested in the characters. They all seem like side characters. Even the main characters that you get, like I said, like the Moon Knights and the Spider-Mans and stuff like that, it isn't what you think it is. So it gets disturbing. Now, I thought this would have been good. Like, if you would have told me they were pairing, like, you know, Daredevil versus Spider-Man, or, you know, Punisher versus Kraven the Hunter, I'd have been like, yo, I'm on board, right? But we didn't get that. And if they were to do that in here, it wouldn't be what we wanted or what we expected. So yeah, you made it this far, you already know what to do. Your vibe attracts your tribe. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button. If you don't hit this like button, then the algorithm's gonna be like, oh no, he don't like Sed's content, or she doesn't like Sed's content. Leave me a comment down below. What did you think about this series? Did you enjoy the entire series? What did you think about the superheroes they did put in here? Do you like the twist? Are you going to read more of it? Also, make sure you hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date on all future content. Make sure you share this video to any and all social media platforms, especially to someone that you think this video would be useful for. But with that being said, y'all, peace, love, and blessings.